seats. The streak to protect. It's a long, long ball. It'll need further investigation.
What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to be reviewing Port Adelaide versus Essendon. Round 16 at the MCG was held on Saturday night, and well, it didn't disappoint, did it? We've come out 4-point winners after the siren, thanks to Dan Houston in one of the most epic classic finishes you'll see. After the siren, Dan Houston had no problem at all launching that one from 55 to get it across the line, and broke a lot of Essendon hearts and rejuvenated a lot of Port Adelaide hearts, because we're 12 on the trot. The streak continues. It does not fail. Even when you're losing at the final siren, after it, we still somehow win the game, and it's just mind-boggling to see. So let's get straight into it. Let's review Port Adelaide versus Essendon. Now, this review will be a little bit different. I'm not going to judge the game as such. I'm just going to go from the dome a bit. I'm just going to talk about how I was feeling, how many Port fans were probably feeling, Essendon fans, and just the emotion of it all. This was an emotional win. We've bucked the trend of coming off the bye, every team losing off the bye. We've somehow said, no, that's not for us. We win after the bye. We're going to take this game and somehow win it, because we were terrible. Port Adelaide were terrible. Like, that was the worst game we've played, I think. I know it was wet, I know it was greasy, but we were under the pump. We looked lackluster, we didn't have energy. We had spurts of brilliance. The first quarter was unreal. We should have been 8 goals up. But then across the game, Essendon sort of worked their way in. They got their confidence back in, and it was just a bit of, okay, this is going to be a scrap. And halfway through the third quarter, you sort of look at it and went, I think Essendon have this game pretty much well and truly by the scruff of the neck, and if Port Adelaide don't change something, we're in a bit of strife. And the streak could have ended. And we got to the last quarter, we ended up being 17 points up, which in my mind was instantly, yeah, we're home. Yeah, with the 7 minutes to go, we're pretty much home here. Essendon, to their credit, fought their way back. When Langford kicked the goal, you got a little bit nervous, but it was like, I think we're still okay. Then they got within 5 points. They were very quick to be within 5 points, and it was just stress, and the heart rate was up, and it was just, oh no, here we go again. And then Jai Caldwell kicked the goal to put Essendon in front with less than a minute and a half to go. And I'm just sitting there, I'm in the pub at the footy club and watching with my mates, and I'm just thinking, holy shit, this is how it ends. It's ended the way that we've ended so many teams this year, and that's by under a goal or under 12 points in a classic nail-biter. We were 5 and zip with games at less than 10 goals. Less than 10 points or 12 points. And then in the end, we've somehow mustered the chance to kick a goal after the siren to win a game. And it was the man that, you probably were one person you'll back to kick a ball from 55 out on a 45-degree angle to slot home a winner in the most dramatic of circumstances. Dan Houston is someone that you look on your side and you go, he is underrated. He is the one that just creates opportunities, makes you pay when you've stuffed up. And he also is very accountable. He's very good one-on-one with his opponent, but he's also very much a strong player in with ball in hand, but also in the air. He can tackle. He's just a smart footballer. And for him to stand there, he's had 31 possessions for the night. His 32nd possession is a match-winning goal from 55. That's... How has he launched that from 55 out on a slight angle? Some people might argue he went off his line, but the rule is clear as day that you can start from inside your line and pretty much work your way out. The arc is there available to you, so you don't run off your line. The man on the mark obviously doesn't move. The umpire won't call play on if you don't change the angle of the goalpost, and he clearly didn't. Like, he's moved ever so slightly to get his natural swinging arc with the ball going, and that's more than acceptable. And he's flushed it from 55. And the goal umpire as well, just standing on the line. He's got 12 blokes climbing on top of him, just to sit there and just keep his motion, looking at the goals, looking at the line. And his angle was a bit off in terms of being dead on the line, but he still had peripheral vision to look at that and think, that's a goal. He's given the soft call a goal. And as soon as they showcased where the ball was and where the Essendon hands were and the goal umpire, it's over the line. It's clear as day. It's over the line. What's baffling is the bookends of this streak so far. Sydney, we won a game where the ball fell short by that much. And in the same contest 12 weeks later against Essendon at the G, we've won a game after the siren where the ball was over the line by this much. To me, that just sends a weird message to say that it's the finest of lines where Port Adelaide are winning games at the moment. That's why we have 12-0 in terms of a streak. That's why we've won off after the bye. That's why we have this belief that we could play terribly like we did on the night. I mean, I'm talking players had less than 10 touches, or Horn Francis had 10. Boak had 8. Like, Alir had... he was actually very good, I should say. Bergman had 7. Like, it was just one of those games where you just look at it, and I've got the stats up in front of me, and Darcy Byrne-Jones had 8. Marshall only had 8. McEntee only had 6. Even Horn Francis, as I said, had 10. Nark with 12. Majority of our players were... Ollie Wines had a very quiet game at 13 touches. Pepper 12. All the key personnel that you think, hey, they're going to stand up here. No one really stood up. It was Butters, who was fantastic in the wet, as per usual, 25 and a goal. 23 and 3 goals for Connor Rosie. Arguably best on ground for mine, along with Houston for Port Adelaide. It's those players. Dylan Williams is very good down back, but I just think the way we found a way to win this time was just, we were hanging on by a fingernail, and we found a way to win. We found a way, and it was the man that was Dan Houston. He deserves the accolades. He deserves the moment to himself. Yeah, it was a good team win. Like, the team gets the win, but Dan Houston wins that game for Port Adelaide. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to sit here and say, that's going to do wonders for everyone else, because that's Dan Houston's moment. He deserves that moment. And it just gives even more belief to this football club that we can do anything this year. And people keep saying Collingwood smashing teams, they just somehow keep on winning, and they do it in close games and smash teams in big games. Port Adelaide are doing the exact same thing. It's going very underrated at the moment. We somehow keep doing it. And it's just an amazing feeling at the moment. It truly is, to just sit here and be like, my team is on a 12-game winning streak after the pressure and the torment that this club's been through. And also the pressure on the coaching panel, and the anger of the fans and everything. It's just, you sit here and you're like, far out. I've got belief. We can do anything. And Essendon were very good. They pushed us to the limits, but that's 2 games this year now. Essendon and Port Adelaide have had close games, and 5 points it was at the Adelaide Oval, 4 points on Saturday night at the G. The first time in 25 years we played Essendon at the MCG, and it's one to remember. Just quickly, Dante Vicentini, congratulations on a debut. That was obviously a weird debut. I don't think any Port fan really realised that he was playing until the message popped up, breaking news, Scott Lassette is not playing 10 minutes into the first quarter. It's not really breaking news, is it, when he's failed a fitness test? Some are saying at the moment that's a meniscus for Scotty Lassette, which is such a shame because he's been in such good nick, and for me, that's going to hurt us in terms of ruck stocks. Hopefully it's not the case, but that's definitely going to change a few dynamics in Finlayson, Dixon. I think maybe Teagle comes back in, or maybe Dante keeps his spot for another week. It's going to be a very big ask against Jared Witts next week against the Suns, but yeah, what a weird debut for Dante. Comes in strapping up, still 10 minutes into the first quarter. He gets subbed out halfway through the third quarter because the conditions just did not suit him for a debut. But his debut's on the MCG, and his debut's a win in his first game, where it's a goal after the siren. Just quickly, I'll run through a couple of players that deserve some accolades. I did mention Dylan Williams was very, very good. Connor Rosie, Butters. Willem Drew, I thought's game was very, very good. He had 7 tackles in the wet. It was very... He runs, and he does a lot of second and third efforts, which were great. There's one other bloke I really do want to mention, and that's Kane Farrell. 25 touches and a goal. That was his best game for the football club. The goal was sensational, but his composure with the footy, his excellence with the kicking of the footy to personnel, whether it's coming outside of defensive 50, going inside 50, the switch kick, doesn't matter. He has a perfectly weighted, perfectly timed kick, and that deserves some recognition. So well done, Kane Farrell. Well done to the boys. It's just another week of watching the replay of the game over and over. Actually, I'm just going to watch the last quarter, really, because we were good in the last quarter. Let it slip for a bit, and then came back and won the game after the siren, because Houston has no problem. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, Port fans. Thank you so much for watching this review. We look forward to Gold Coast next week. Do we go the lucky 13 on the trot against the Suns? It'll be a very interesting game at the Adelaide Oval on Saturday night, so I'm very much looking forward to that. So make sure you jump on board, subscribe. Glass Table will be out as well this week, and I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon. My name's Anthony, and as always, holy moly, we've kicked a goal after the siren down Houston. Can't a pair.